All right, so today we're going to be diving into something pretty profound.
Oh, yeah.
Dharma.
Nice.
You wanted to explore this concept a little bit, and I have to say it's a fascinating one.
It really is.
We're going to be using a lecture transcript called Dharma in the Vedic Canon for this deep dive.
Okay.
Now, Dharma is often translated as duty, righteousness, or moral law.
Right.
But it's way more intricate than just that.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's not just some like ancient philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
It has some serious implications for how we live our lives today.
Yeah, I think that's what's really interesting about it is that it's not just some, dusty old concept. It's something that can actually inform our actions in the present.
Totally. And right away, the source emphasizes Dharma's connection to cosmic order, a concept called Rita in Vedic texts.
Right.
It's almost like the universe is this intricate clock, and Dharma is what keeps everything ticking.
Yeah. I love that analogy.
Yeah.
It's like all the gears are working together, and when we're living in alignment with Dharma, we're like a well-oiled machine.
I like that.
Yeah.
So it's not just about following a list of rules then.
No, not at all.
It's more about understanding our place in this grand interconnected system.
Precisely.
Yeah.
It's less about rigid rules and more about understanding the principles that govern this interconnectedness.
Okay.
The source makes it very clear that living in accordance with Dharma is all about promoting harmony, both within ourselves and with the world around us.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Now, the source dives into these ancient texts.
Yes.
The Vedas and the Upanishads.
Right.
I know they're pretty important for understanding Dharma, but could you give us a quick rundown?
Sure. So think of the Vedas as like the foundation of Hindu thought.
Okay.
The bedrock,
Got it.
And then the Upanishads are like commentaries on those foundational ideas, exploring the deeper meaning behind them.
Okay.
So you need both to really understand Dharma.
Like the original text and the director's commentary.
Exactly.
I got it.
Yeah.
And speaking of key concepts,
Yes.
this term Radha keeps coming up.
Right.
It seems pretty central to this whole Dharma thing.
It is.
Could you elaborate on what it means?
Yeah, so Radha is that overarching cosmic order that we were just talking about.
Yeah.
It's like the fabric of the universe, the invisible force that governs everything.
Right.
And Dharma is like the manifestation of Radha in our lives, the way we align ourselves with that universal flow.
So Dharma isn't some cosmic rule book,
No.
but more like a compass guiding us towards living a harmonious and purposeful life.
Exactly.
That's a really good way to put it.
And it's important to note that the source emphasizes the concept of swadharma, or individual duty. So while Dharma is about these universal principles, swadharma recognizes that each of us has a unique role to play in this grand scheme of things.
That's where things get really interesting for me. If we all have our own unique svadharma, how do we figure out what that is?
Oh, that's the big question, isn't it?
Yeah, is there some kind of cosmic personality quiz we can take?
I wish it were that simple.
Right.
The source highlights the importance of self-reflection
Okay.
and understanding your unique talents and inclinations. It's about paying attention to what brings you a sense of fulfillment and purpose.
Yeah.
And it's not a fixed concept either.
Oh.
Like your swadharma can change and evolve as you grow.
That makes sense. It's not a one-size-fits-all kind of thing.
Nope.
Now, the source also mentions all these different classifications of Dharma.
Yeah.
Sanatana Dharma, Varna Dharma, Ashrama Dharma, Yuga Dharma.
There's a lot.
Seems like a lot to unpack.
It can seem overwhelming at first,
Yeah.
but these classifications really highlight Dharma's adaptability.
Okay.
Shows how Dharma can be applied to different contexts and stages of life.
I think our listener is eager to delve into these different types of Dharma.
I bet.
Can we break them down a bit further?
Absolutely. Let's start with Sanatana Dharma.
Okay.
This refers to the eternal and universal principles of Dharma, like truth, compassion, and nonviolence.
Okay.
These are the core principles that remain constant regardless of time or circumstance.
It's kind of the guiding principles that underpin everything else.
Exactly. And then we have Svadharma, which we touched upon earlier.
Right.
Your individual duty, your unique path. The source emphasizes that understanding and fulfilling your Svadharma is crucial for a truly dharmic life.
And what about Varna Dharma?
Right. So Varna Dharma relates to one's social classification and the duties associated with it. This concept is often misunderstood.
I can imagine.
But at its core, it's about performing your role in society with integrity and skill. contributing to the overall harmony of the community.
So like playing your part,
Yeah.
whatever that might be,
Exactly.
with excellence and a sense of service.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, moving on to ashrama dharma, this concept divides life into 4 stages. Student, householder, hermit, and renunciate. Each stage has its own set of duties and focuses guiding you through the different phases of life.
It's like a roadmap for spiritual growth throughout life, isn't it?
It is.
Each stage building on the last.
Exactly.
And finally, we have Yuga Dharma.
Right.
This concept acknowledges that the way Dharma is expressed might need to adapt over time. Different eras have different needs and challenges.
For sure.
And Yuga Dharma helps us understand how dharmic principles can be applied in those changing contexts.
Right. It's about recognizing that Dharma is not static.
So Dharma is not static or stuck in the past.
Nope.
It evolves with us.
Exactly.
And this actually brings us to a fascinating point raised in the source.
Oh, yeah.
The Upanishads emphasize that Dharma is intricately connected to the concept of moksha, or liberation.
Right.
A liberation.
That sounds nice, doesn't it?
That does sound pretty appealing.
Yeah.
How does living a dharmic life lead to this ultimate freedom?
Well, the source explains it like this. So by aligning your actions with Dharma, you start to move beyond those like ego-driven desires and find a state of balance and peace. It's about like letting go of attachment to the results of your actions and focusing on the journey of fulfilling your Dharma.
That reminds me of something I read in the Bhagavad Gita.
Oh, yeah.
It's a really important text in Hindu philosophy, right?
It is, absolutely.
Does it have anything to say about Dharma?
Oh, for sure. The source even quotes a piece of advice from Krishna to Arjuna.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Better to perish in one's own duty than to adopt another's duty with trepidation.
Wow. That's
powerful stuff.
That's powerful, yeah.
Right.
It's a strong reminder that staying true to your own Dharma, even if it's tough, is more fulfilling than trying to follow someone else's path.
For sure.
It's about being authentic.
Exactly. And the Gita really emphasizes that. How vital that authenticity and self-awareness are when seeking liberation.
Okay. We've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
Cosmic order, individual duty, ancient texts,
Yeah.
even the pursuit of liberation.
Right.
But how does all this ancient wisdom apply to our lives today?
That's the million-dollar question.
I'm sure our listeners are wondering the same thing.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And the source actually provides some pretty insightful answers.
Okay.
It emphasizes things like ethical conduct at work, contributing to society, practicing compassion, even environmental stewardship as modern expressions of Dharma.
So it's not just about meditating on a mountaintop.
Not necessarily.
It's about how we show up in the world in our everyday actions.
Exactly. Dharma is about living ethically and responsibly in every aspect of your life.
Got it.
And the source gives a really compelling example to illustrate this.
Okay.
Imagine a young entrepreneur who's facing a tough business decision, one that could potentially like harm the environment.
Oh, okay. A classic ethical dilemma.
Right.
Yeah.
And the source uses this story to highlight how applying dharmic principles, like ahimsa or nonviolence, can guide ethical business practices, even in a competitive market. It's about making choices that benefit not just ourselves, but the world around us.
That's a really powerful example.
It is.
It really brings Dharma down to earth and shows how relevant it is in navigating the complexities of modern life.
For sure.
But what about those really tough situations where there's no clear right or wrong answer?
Yeah, those gray areas.
Can Dharma offer any guidance when we're facing those ethical dilemmas?
It's a question we all grapple with at some point.
Right.
And the source suggests that the core principles of Dharma, truth, nonviolence, and selfless service, can serve as a framework for navigating even the most complex situations.
Like a moral compass.
Exactly.
So Dharma isn't some outdated philosophy gathering dust.
Not at all.
It's a set of living, breathing principles that can help us lead more meaningful and fulfilling lives.
I think that's a beautiful way to put it.
Right here, right now. I really appreciate how the source emphasizes the practical side of these ancient teachings.
Me too. It's not just about understanding the concepts. It's about putting them into practice. And that's where the real beauty of Dharma lies.
Yeah.
In its capacity to guide us through all those like ups and downs of life.
Yeah.
You know, helping us navigate those challenges with integrity and compassion.
Well said.
Thank you.
So to recap, we've learned that Dharma is about aligning ourselves with that cosmic order.
Right.
Fulfilling our own unique purpose. And living ethically.
Yeah.
That's a pretty profound concept.
It is.
but also incredibly practical.
Yeah, what I find so fascinating is how the source really bridges the gap between that ancient philosophy and modern relevance. It shows us that Dharma isn't just this, like, abstract idea. It's something we can actually cultivate and express in our daily lives.
It's like Dharma is a toolkit
I love that.
for living a more meaningful and fulfilling life, no matter what challenges we face. It provides us with those guiding principles that can help us make better choices, navigate difficult situations, and ultimately live in a way that's aligned with our true selves and the world around us.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
It really feels like Dharma provides this incredible framework for making choices, choices that lead to a more meaningful and fulfilling life.
It does.
But I imagine it's not always easy to live in complete alignment with Dharma.
Oh, of course not.
We're human after all.
Right.
We make mistakes.
Yeah.
We stumble. We sometimes lose our way.
That's part of the journey.
So it's not about being perfect.
No.
But about striving to live in accordance with these principles.
Exactly.
Learning from our mistakes and continuing to grow.
That's what it's all about.
I think that's really reassuring for our listener. It makes Dharma feel more attainable.
Yeah.
More human.
More realistic, right?
Yeah.
Like, we're not expected to be perfect all the time.
Right.
It's about the effort.
As we wrap up this deep dive into Dharma, is there one final thought you'd like to leave our listener with?
Let me think.
Something to ponder as they continue on their own Dharma journey.
I would say, think about a situation in your own life where applying the principles of Dharma might make a difference.
Okay.
Like, think about a challenge you're facing or a decision you need to make, and how might considering your svadharma or acting with truth and compassion change your approach?
That's a fantastic question to reflect on.
It is.
It really brings Dharma home.
Yeah, I think so too.
And remember, this is just the beginning of your exploration.
Right.
There's a whole universe of wisdom out there waiting to be discovered.
So much to learn.
So keep seeking, keep learning.
Yes.
And keep striving to live in alignment with your own unique Dharma.
Beautiful.
Until next time.